Okay.
I go ahead, open it up for questions for Coach Barnes.
Yeah, what was just kind of the difference between the first quarter and the second quarter?
I think just making shots, and we run out of gas. You saw it with Destiny as the game went on. She got more banged and just couldn't finish as much. I thought that first quarter we came out with so much energy, and I felt like that's how the game was going to go, but we still couldn't get stops. We were scoring, but we still weren't getting stops. Later on, when we had a tough time scoring, we weren't able to get stops. We tried 3 different zones. Man, I think that they just had an easy time scoring at times. We didn't locate shooters, and that's stuff that were keys and that we talked about. The other thing is, I really felt like we only lost by 2 on the boards, but it felt like we lost by 15. It was just the times when they got. I mean, it felt like we lost by 8 or 10. It was the times when they got them, and we cut it, and we're like 8-point differential. Then they get an offensive rebound, then they get an easy layup or a backdoor. It's just those are the times that we have to, and that's the thing about knowing how to win. Just buckle down when you have that momentum. We were on a run, they call a timeout. We can't keep the pedal down, and I think that's the getting used to winning. And we tried different people, and the hard thing is going into the bench. It's like you give up something, and you give something, and you take something away. So Jalea was awesome at scoring tonight, but then at times, she took some breaks here and there. And then when Marley comes in, we're really small, so it's hard to stay in some of our zones. So it was just hard combinations tonight. But we have to be able to get stops, especially when we make runs. We can't just score and give scores. And that's the only thing I was a little bit disappointed. I wasn't disappointed in our effort. I just was a little disappointed in that.
Coach, seemed like other than the big two, Bennett and Graham, everybody else just kind of
had a tough time scoring.
Just tough time.
I think this is just typical for freshmen. This is when you hit that wall for sure, and it's evident with Sam Thomas. Like she's just not herself. She's really tired. But me, like there's nothing. We're talking about taking care of yourself, resting, which she is someone who for sure does. Practice is light, shoot around's light, but I think this is just that time when you have kind of a freshman funk because she's not herself. She doesn't miss those easy shots. And Lucia is another player. I had to get her some times of rest, but it's really hard for us when Lucia's on the floor, especially with a lot of pressure. But her playing 39 minutes, and for her to go 0 for 8, she's tired, and she had a lot of wide open looks. So those are the things we have to have other people scoring, hitting shots, especially with the defense that collapses and plays a lot of matchup. We're going to have open shots, and we just weren't able to kill on the boards, and we weren't able to hit open shots.
Do you think that's the reason why their ball movement was so effective tonight? 21 assists on 30 made shots.
I think that a lot of that's because we sat in the zone, so they're going to have reversals for shots, and we sat in different types of zones. But I felt like the times when we went man, we'd get some stops, but then we couldn't score. And the times where we need the stops, we couldn't get them. And then we had miscommunication on some switching, and then there's a layup. But those are the times where you have to, even though you're tired, you have to dig deep. I'm not going to that when you get within 8 points after a run, you may not score, but they're not scoring. It's that sense of urgency. We don't really know how to do that yet. We will learn how to do that in this program, but we just don't have that yet. We just kind of go back on our heels, or we have that turnover. So now we're just at 8, we're down 10. It's just those plays are big at the end of the game, because then we went into the timeout down 10, and we were just within 8. So those things hurt. And we shot 25%. We've struggled from the 3. 4 for 16 is tough. And Lucia is not, I don't think, maybe one other time this year she's been 0 for 8 or 0 for 5. That's not really Lucia-like, but she's getting pressured and getting full court pressed and hard hedged and switched the whole night. And she's our primary ball handler. Things are different next year because there's Aerie that can be another ball handler. But that's just not for this year. I like 10 offensive rebounds, that's good, but I don't like that we didn't win on the boards.
What do you like most about the aggression you're getting from Jalea offensively?
I like that she's being aggressive, and tonight, the way she went to the rim tonight is what she can do, and I say that time in and time out. She can do that every single night. No one can stop her going to the rim, but we need more productivity from other people, and then defensively, she can't take trips off. So when I want her to be that hard and play that hard offensively and defensively all the time. And I think sometimes she'll take breaks when she's tired because she's driving and working so hard for basket. But she's one of the few players that can make big plays defensively. She can trap in our full court press and get steals. So, but at times I tried to rest her when she was a little tired. But it's just hard when you have certain people off the floor, because when she's off the floor, we couldn't really score tonight. When Destiny wasn't inside, we didn't really have anything going to the rim. So it's hard. Those are two key players for us that have to play like this every night for us to have a chance. And then they need help. Then they need Lucia to hit a couple shots. Lucia hits a couple more. Kat gets a couple more in the times where we need him. Sam Thomas usually gets a couple more rebounds, hits a couple more shots. It's just the difference of winning and losing for us. Because we don't have that scoring. Besides Marley, we don't have a scoring punch off the bench.
Anything else?
One quick thing, one of the alumni gave a matching gift, 5,000.
Yeah.
I think it was,
Joy Hollingsworth.
Joy, yeah, what are you gonna use that for?
Well, it's gonna go for graphics in the locker room, but I have a long list of stuff we can use it for. We have foreign trip, chartered flights. No, there's a lot of things I'm gonna initiate next year, because for us and being in Tucson, the first thing is charter flights, but they're like 38 to 48,000 per flight. A lot of men's programs, they charter every flight. So it just makes a difference in your travel from Tucson. Different story if we're in Los Angeles, Phoenix, some other major hub, Seattle. But here, it's very hard. It is a world of difference for our players coming home right after a flight. Otherwise, we are connecting every single trip, and we are delayed almost every single trip. So that's a big thing. That 5,000 obviously can't go to that because I wouldn't even buy a seat. But graphics in the locker room is one thing. I mean, there's a lot of areas. And I think Joy Hollingsworth, she was a coach, so she understands how hard this is, and she's a great friend, and she's a great person, and she has a very successful business. So hopefully we'll get other people to match, but that was a really big contribution, and she's here, so she's getting all kinds of gear and stuff, but she's a good supporter, and she was a great player, and she's a great person too, so we were very, very grateful. So, if you guys got some other people that want to pay for some charter flights, let me know. All right, you guys, thanks.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, love it. God, I don't like it. I used to love my birthdays. Now I'm like, damn, it's my birthday.
Julia, how would you categorize the difference in the first half and the first quarter and the second quarter?
Just mainly we came out how we wanted to. But the thing is, we have to contain, like, we're going to go on a runs. Basketball is a game of runs. We went on our run, and we got to do a better job of containing them on their runs and bouncing back. We didn't bounce back after their run, and so that really dug us into a hole going into, like, halftime into the third quarter.
Destiny, when you guys had to extend your defense when they started hitting all those threes in the second quarter, how did that affect you down low? Because all your defense is more spread out.
Yeah, I think it just knowing that my teammates have my help and just trusting them and just trying to play hard.
How would you categorize, Destiny, the physicality of the game?
Man.
Still on the ground a lot.
Man.
I tell her all the time I'm proud of her. She's doing a great job on the boards as an undersized post. So you got to keep it up. She's killing. And even Coach said it. She was killing. So we got to look for her more and feed her and just keep rebounding because that's really what we need.
Yeah, these girls outweigh me probably by 30 pounds. So I try to use my quickness against them and just having an IQ that I have, just using that, and that's kind of how I get by.
How difficult is it to create out there when the point guards seem to be struggling the way they were tonight?
Well, the biggest problem is when we get fatigued, we start to stand around. And I told them we were doing a good job in the first quarter of spacing out. And since when we got tired towards the second quarter, we started to stand around, and that allowed their defense to sink in and not have to move. That way, when we're trying to penetrate, we're not able, when we do kick it, one person can guard two of us. So we're not getting the open shots that we need. So the biggest thing is that we got to continue to space out. That way we're able to penetrate the gaps and kick it to open shooters more.
Julie, what clicks for you when you go to that next gear on the drive?
I just think that when Jalea's driving, her eyes just get big, and I'm like, okay, go ahead, and she usually gets fouled, so I'm fine with her attacking and driving because she's really strong, she's physical, and if she won't make the layup, she'll at least get the foul.
Do you ever look at the tape after the game and say, damn, I should have just kept going? Because it seemed like in the first half, you had 22 points going into, I think, the third or fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden it just kind of slowed down. Can you just kind of explain your thought process?
There are some times where it's like, I wish I would have kept driving, or there are some times where I wish I would have kicked it to the open shooter. And yeah, we do watch a lot of film on that, but I just want to continue to get better at reading situations, knowing when to keep going, knowing when to pull up, and knowing when to kick to the shooter, the open shooter. And I feel like I've been doing a better job of that, of trying to, like, when I penetrate, because I do draw a lot of defense, of kicking it. So, yeah.
What kind of message for both of you, being seniors and leaders, that you can kind of trickle down to the freshmen and the younger players on a game like this, the effort that was there, or even the effort that was lacking maybe on their part?
The biggest thing is trust the process. Like, it's a process. We're not gonna wake up and just be playing our best basketball. We just gotta continue to get better and better and learn from every game. And like earlier in the season, this would have been a game that we might have not came back from, like when we were down by 20. So the biggest thing with them is continue to play, because when there's time on the clock, as long as there's time on the clock, there's time for you to like continue to make runs and get back in the game. And that's, I feel like they really understand that we are able and capable of coming back. So just got to continue to preach that, to stay in the game and trust the process.
Usually when you're exerting that so much energy on offense, how hard is it to carry that over play after play on defensive end as well?
I mean, it's not the easiest, because I do get fatigued sometimes, and, you know, I have, like, nagging little injuries and stuff, but, like, I do enjoy bringing the energy, because when I'm on and they're on, it's a lot of fun playing with them. So that's all the motivation that I need, just us being able to be out there and having fun. So.
Destiny, coach had said that she felt, the freshmen, maybe in particular Sam, is starting to hit that freshman wall. How do you guys as veterans kind of help them through that?
Just kind of just talking to her throughout the game and just letting her know, as long as she's contributing in other ways, altering shots, whatever she can do, being in help defense, it doesn't always matter about scoring and getting block shots, which is what she does. So just letting her know that she's going to get over the hump, because I have went through that plenty of times.
How does it help you guys to have a special night like this? Like a couple weeks ago, you won on a Friday night. It was the Unity game, and then you come back here, and the alumni were out here. Does that give you a little extra boost to come out maybe?
I think it does. Hosting stuff like this really gives us a boost. Go out there, give them a show, give them what they came for and stuff. It's a lot of fun, actually. So I was glad I at least got to participate in an alumni night before I left.
The alumni that came, did they give you any, did they talk to you in the locker room or give you any special, speeches today or during the week maybe?
To them after the game, one of them was talking to me, letting me know that, I'm a leader and I gotta continue to keep my head up. I can't put my head down. And then, one of them told me, like, keep attacking, because they're not stopping me. She said, keep going until they stop you. And so, really helpful things. I appreciate all the advice that they gave me.
Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you Sunday.
All right.
I got 2 minutes.